Hi, my name's Chris, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is me documenting what I do day to day. Was a corporate logistics manager for a pretty decent sized company for, uh, you know, a couple of years, and before that I was shipping supervisor and shipping lead, and kind of worked my way up through the ranks, and after some soul searching, really decided I just didn't want to work for somebody else. I didn't want to take my energy and put it towards anybody else. So the opportunity just kind of fell in my lap to go full-time selling on eBay and Amazon, and I took the opportunity. I'm not saying that what I do is how you should do it. I'm just showing you how I do it. It works for me. I will tell you, the way I started this was just kind of making it up as I went along. Early on, I watched a few YouTube channels, read a little bit, and then kind of came up with my own process. It works for me. One of the biggest failing points for most beginning eBayers is warehousing. They just kind of list things and put them in bins, and then put the bins to the side, and then when it comes time to ship, they spend hours trying to find an item, can't find the item, end up having to cancel the sale, take a hit, and they lose their top rated performance. It's terrible. That's just not the way to run an eBay business. Financially, you lose a lot of money when you lose that top rated status. I think it's like 5%. Don't quote me on that, but it's, it's all money out of your pocket. Not only that, but also I get about a 22% return buyer rate. If I had canceled sales, that would be, for buyers, they wouldn't be return buyers. The other part of that is the other success is listing accurately. Obviously, if something's damaged, stated in your description, stated in your title if you have room. What else? Packaging and shipping. It's kind of my forte. It's where I do, a good job is in that packaging of items. Again, I've been in the shipping game for about 23 years now. I started out as a lowly shipping clerk and just worked my way up through it. And I like it. I like sending stuff all over the world. It's kind of cool to know that, something that leaves my small hometown is going somewhere, So, that's me. What do I do? I'm a father of 3 children. I have a loving wife who kind of supports my madness. At times it can be madness. I've been known to buy, one time anyway, I bought an entire eBay store, about 20,000 items. That was madness. It was a little too much for me, but I made it work. I made quite a bit of money off from the buy. It was just, it was a lot. I bought people's entire garages. Sometimes my kitchen table is full of stuff that I am in the middle of processing. Again, I feel bad for my wife, but we've known each other since high school, and I've been married for 18 years now, and excuse me. Yeah, she loves me and tolerates my ADHD, I guess. So. Again, Chris Hobart, welcome to my channel, and I hope you like and follow and watch what I do. I'm going to go ahead and start shipping for the day. So if you want to watch and see what I do when I'm shipping, great. I appreciate you spending the time to watch. So, first thing I'm going to do is find my first item. Let me see if I can give you just a quick view. Sorry for my terrible camera operation, but I'm going to try and give you a quick view of this would be my mess. Trust me, it drives me crazy having, you know, piles like this. Sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, but I clean it all up and I start all over again. It's actually funny, I've actually started cleaning this already. Now, mind you, these are actually inventory. I don't have a great place to store posters, so yeah, I keep them in just piles here, rolled up with little labels on them saying what they are. Let me see if I can show you. So this particular one says Hitachi on it, and it's a Hitachi advertisement. It's I think it's a girl holding a drill or something like that, but in the title it says Hitachi. It's the only Hitachi poster I have. Easy peasy. These down here are file cabinets. You'll see I have a lot of file cabinets, and if I move my chair, I like to sit once in a while. If I open up one of these file cabinets, mind you, the file cabinets are labeled. This is file cabinet 5, and this is drawer A, B, C, D. So F5A for file cabinet 5, drawer A. And in here, file cabinets I use for magazines. I sell a lot of magazines. They're a slow mover for the most part. You know, obviously you get some really, really hot ones, you know, they go immediately for, you know, a good price. But for the most part, they're pretty slow movers, but they do sell. And if you have enough of them, you know, you do okay with it. I do about, let me see, 3 months I had $1,500 in magazine sales. $500 a month. Why not? That's income. So yeah, I mean, in here I've got just magazines, bunches and bunches of them. Sometimes there's books in here, you know, I'll put some books in here as well. Books mostly go in boxes, but you know, if I've got an empty drawer and I'm listing books and they fit in there nicely, I'll put a book in there. Also 45s down below. I've got some 45s and CDs. There's 45s, records, and yeah, CDs. So, but yeah, it's all magazines in for the most part in the file cabinet drawers. This first file cabinet is a location, but I never actually use it as a location. It's all my shipping supplies, cleaning supplies, whatnot, and my snack drawer. Gotta have a snack drawer. Gotta eat. So, yeah, if you look in here, you know, Goo Gone, every eBay seller should have Goo Gone. Take those pesky price stickers off. Rubber bands, I'm shipping posters. Sometimes I'm shipping multiple items that I like to rubber band together. Rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol is great for cleaning. It doesn't seem to really affect too many things, like negatively, but it's good for, you know, cleaning off CD cases. You know, things like that. Bottom drawer is I love using bubble mailers, so I keep the whole drawer full of bubble mailers. Again, snack drawer. I try healthy snacks, not mixed. Yep. Oh, shipping labels. Got a whole drawer full of shipping labels, just blanks, rolls and rolls of them. If you look over here, you'll see quite a bit of shelving over here, and you know, more file cabinets. There's a whole slew of file cabinets and more messes, right? So anytime you have a surface, you end up with a mess, unfortunately. Actually, a lot of this stuff over here is actually personal items. They're things that are mine, or things that I pulled out when I was sourcing them. You know, for instance, I'm a huge fan of the New Jersey trilogy. Well, I found Clerks 2 on DVD the other day, so I bought it. Let me see, lighting. I love this movie. It's funny, and I saw it the other day. Actually, same place I found that. They were 99 cents a piece, and then they were actually 50% off. So for 50 cents, I bought a couple DVDs I like. I've got VCR player and DVD. Sorry, it's actually a DVD player, VCR player, but it's a DVD recorder. I never actually use it, but it's there. You got stereo, tape players. These I use them both for business and personal. I've got a TV here up on the wall that I use. Excuse my cords. I use that TV up on the wall. I'll have some music playing or a movie playing in the background. Just kind of watching something. So inventory system. This is my inventory system, so it doesn't have to be yours, but. So what I have here is in this back corner, excuse me, while I roll these racks around. Rolling racks are great because they allow you to put things tight together and move them around. For instance, I'm going to get this rack right out of the way. And then I can move this rack right out of the way. Excuse the squeal. And look, behind it is another rack. So it allows me to get 3 racks in a tight space. So back here in the corner I have a shelf, and it's shelf 0, and this is shelf 1. Over there is shelf 2 and shelf 3. But the way my and then these are racks 1, 2, and 3. And the way my inventory system works is, let's say this is shelf 0, top shelf is shelf A. Let me grab a box off from shelf A. So what we have here is shelf A, shelf 0, inventory location, shelf, help me here, shelf 0, top shelf A, and then this is box 2. I think it's backwards for you guys, I apologize, but I'm using my front, so this is the first time I've ever recorded one of these, so I'm using my front camera so I can see where I am in the frame. So anyway, so this is S0A2 for entire shelf 0, top shelf A, box number 2. So I've got 3 boxes on that shelf, so it's 1, 2, and 3. And I keep them in order. And then what I do with that inventory location, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can put it in the description. There's actually a custom SKU, and this is in eBay. There's a custom SKU where you can put that in the details, like where the condition is, etc. Personally, I don't do that, and I'll tell you why in a second. But so you can put it in the description, put it there, or you can put it in the title. The reason I put it in the title whenever possible. If I can't put it in the title, then I put it in the description. The reason for that is, if I put it in the title, then when I go to pull and ship, it's right there. I don't have to do any other clicking. I go ship next item, and it comes up, and boom, right in the title is the location. So it's fast, right? I'll call it my business model is a lot of long tail items, right? It's easier to buy long tail items. They said you don't pay as much for them, so your profit margins are greater. But what I do is buy all these long tail items, list them, and if you have enough long tail items, it ends up being a short tail, right? So pipes don't sell very, smoking pipes don't sell very fast, but if you have 100 smoking pipes, then you've got one that's going to interest somebody, once a week, right? So you get one sale of smoking pipes once a week. I'm just using that as a weird example. Actually, I think I only have one left in my store. They actually do sell pretty quickly for the most part, the old collectible ones. So yeah, most of my stuff is long tail. It's what I do, and it works for me. I mean, it pays my bills. So Anyway, let me take a look on the computer here. You can use your computer or your phone to look at your inventory locations. So let me grab my, I guess I could look at my phone. Do you guys want to see what I'm doing? Let me see if I can put it up on the screen here. I'm a little paranoid about sharing too much information, but let's see here. Let me grab this. Put it up here. Alright, so first thing I have to do is a vintage Ives brass 12-inch flush lever bolt. And this person bought 2 of them. I only had 2 available. So I'll go ahead and get those. And in my location, it says S2E3, which means shelf 2, level E, and the 3rd box. Easy enough. So I'm going to go over here. Obviously, I've been doing this long enough now that I would hope I know where my inventory locations are, but I'll show you guys. So down here, I have shelf 2, A, B, C, D, E. This is E1, E2, and E3 are these smaller boxes down here. So, here we have S2E3. It doesn't, when it comes to these boxes, I put everything in a box, as long as it's not going to get damaged by anything else next to it. So, fortunately, what I need is right on top. There it is. I need 2 of them. There's a second one. And just to give you an idea, you can see there's CDs in here. There's a China cup in here, wrapped up obviously. Magnetic relays, fuse buses, transformers. You know, it doesn't really matter as long as you're, you know, like this is a piece of china, but it's wrapped up, and then it's inside this little enamel dish, right? So it's fairly protected. Obviously, you have to be smart about what you're doing, but you can put anything in a box. It doesn't have to be, hey, this box is only, you know, CDs. That's not the way it has to be. As long as you're using locations and they're not, you know, it's what I do isn't, I don't buy the same thing all the time. Excuse me while I put this away. I don't buy the same things all the time. It's not like I'm selling, you know, a widget, you know, constantly. Like, oh, I'm always selling widgets. I'm going to move you guys entirely here so you can see me package and ship. I think that your shipping setup is super important. I mean, it's just, shipping for a lot of people is their nightmare. People don't like to ship for some reason. I like it, but I think that it has a lot to, excuse my waters here, I drink a lot of water. I think that it's super important to just have the right setup. So let me show you my shipping setup real quick here. So if you look down here, I don't use bubble wrap. I'm not a fan of plastic. If I were to, you know, have a source for reusable or recycled bubble wrap, I would use it. But I'm not going to buy it because buying new bubble wrap means that I'm introducing more plastic into the environment. I use paper. Believe it or not, I do China. I do everything with paper. It just works. It's fine. You have to use more of it, sure. But it's, you know, a roll of paper lasts me probably 3 weeks, and it's 45 bucks. So for $45, I got 3 weeks worth of dunnage. No problem. I'm good with that overhead. If you notice on my table here, I actually have cloth measuring tape across here. That's because sometimes I make custom boxes, and I need to know the size, or I'm listing something and I need to know what size box it's going to fit in. I can just go like this, and boom, it's under the 12-inch mark. I use standard size boxes, so I have certain boxes that I use all the time. They are a 7-inch by 7-inch by 7-inch box, a 12-inch by 12 by 11. This one I used before, and maybe I put it together and, you know, decided not to use it for something. But so this is a 12-inch by 11-inch by 4-inch. Those are outside dimensions, by the way. This is a 13-inch by 15-inch by 13-inch by 4-inch. Then I have record boxes, which are just, you know, 13 by 13 by, I think they're 13, is that right? 13 or 15, let's see, 13. 13 by 13 by 1-inch box. And then a 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch box. Those are my standard sizes. I use some free postal boxes, like the 12 by 12 by 8s and the 7 by 7 by 6s, and the poster boxes, the triangle ones, the 25-inch long 5 by 5s. I don't use a ton of those because I don't sell a lot of stuff ship a lot of stuff priority. A lot of people just don't want to pay that shipping cost, so no problem. In this case, these are under 12 inches, so they'll go in a 12 by 12 by, a 12 by 11 by 4-inch box. Here it is. Again, I'll bring you guys back up. Let me show you the rest of my ship station first here. Sorry. Always have a good scale. Don't use those little tiny postal scales. They're not heavy enough. Now, this is a Mettler Toledo. It's a really high-end scale. Kind of fell into it. If you were to buy one of these, they're like $400 or $500. I wouldn't spend that much on a scale, but I would definitely get something a little bit better than one of those little tiny scales. I started out with one of those, and they're okay, but they're not really accurate once you go over, you know, 2 pounds. And they're so small that when you've got a big box and you're trying to balance it on there, you can't read the display. It's just not worth it. Even if you were to get a digital bathroom scale, that would be better. The thing with these is they don't display ounces. So I've done it long enough now that I automatically, let me grab a tape gun and drop it on there. I automatically convert it. So this is 2.35 pounds. 0.25 pounds is 4 ounces, right? So 2.35 pounds, I call it 2 pounds 6 ounces. Sorry, you guys can't see my face. Is that better? So yeah, so I call that 2 pounds 6 ounces. No problem. You get used to that conversion after a while. So, tape. I like having big rolls of tape. It's just super convenient. You can use the little dispensers too, whatever works for you. Always have some entertainment value, you know. I have a useless button here. Things to keep me entertained, you know. Shipping, label, printer. Can't stress it enough. Rollos are good, but they take up a lot of footprint because they don't hold the roll inside. So what you end up with is a stack of fan-fold labels behind the Rollo printer, then the Rollo printer. It just takes up a lot more space. They're a solid printer though, don't get me wrong. But these ZP, you can get a ZP 450 or a ZP 500. They're made by Zebra. You get them used on eBay for, you know, like $100 on the high side. I'm just guessing, but I bet you they're pretty cheap. One of these will last you for a lifetime, as long as it doesn't get, you know, like zapped by lightning or something like that. Always use a power bar, but it'll last you a lifetime. They're designed to print like 500 labels a day. If you're, you know, shipping $500 a day, or 500 labels a day, you're not watching my channel. So ZP 500 will cover you for sure, or 450. You'll see where it's nice to have. rolls of labels that go on them. They're pretty inexpensive. I think it's 500 labels for like 20 bucks or something like that. That, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's minimal overhead. So yeah, let's pack and ship this. First thing I do is put my box together. I've had people in the past say, geez, you don't have a lot of table space. You don't necessarily need a lot of table space. If I do, you know, I keep candles. I burn candles in here once in a while just for, you know, I like the smell of them, or, you know, I like the atmosphere and it's calming. But I can clear all this stuff out and get more table space immediately if I need to. Stand my scale right up out of the way. But plus I have another workstation over here that I haven't shown you yet. That's my listing workstation. I can clear that off at the drop of a hat and package over there if I need to. Like chainsaws, I sell chainsaws occasionally, classic ones. I'll package those over there. I clear it off and, you know, wrap it in plastic, and at some point or another I'll show you how I package chainsaws. But yeah, I'll do those over there. Sometimes I'll do them right here. It takes a lot less space than you'd think to package product. So yeah, seems to be enough space for me. Throw your box together. Tape gun. Tape. I prefer 3-inch tape, just always have. Everywhere I've worked, I've converted them to 3-inch tape versus 2-inch tape. It's better if you're doing a single pass, right? So if you're, you know, and you'll see with a heavier item, I'll do double passes. I'll go over a couple times, like side by side, or even 3, depending on the fragility and the weight of the item. But yeah, in this case, they don't weigh very much. Their, you know, total weight is 1.8 pounds. Single pass is fine, especially with a 3-inch tape. You pay a little bit more for it, but you seem to use less of it. And honestly, that little extra cost difference, having one damaged item because the tape broke, that 2-inch tape wasn't wide enough, and one of the flaps slipped out of that 2-inch tape when you did a single pass, one shipment can, you know, saving one shipment can cover that extra cost. So, and I buy it in large quantities. Maybe at some point I'll list what I purchase and use, and give you guys links to my sources. It's nothing secret. I mean, I just go on Amazon, but I've done a little shopping around. And yeah, I had said something about bubble wrap, and I don't like to introduce new plastic to the environment, but one of the things that I do use a lot are poly bags. Every time I ship a magazine, I use a poly bag. I'll show you guys that at some point too here. So anyway, I got my paper down here. I roll out a length, rip it off. Eventually here I'd like to hang my roll. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. Life is a continuous improvement when it comes to business. So that's on my list of continuous improvements. I haven't really decided. Do I want it up there? Do I want to hang it underneath and kind of have it cleverly come up from behind? We'll see. I'm kind of not a fan of having something visually here above my head. I'm pretty clumsy sometimes, so you'll see. I'll walk into things, you know. So even if it's like up here, somehow I'll manage to like hit it, or maybe the tail's hanging down and I give myself a paper cut on my forehead or something stupid. It would just happen. So this doesn't have to be perfect. What I'm doing here is just rolling it up in there. For whatever reason, I like to tape the flap down. You'll see in my reviews, if you ever look at my eBay store, one of the biggest statements is well packaged. You know, that's the one I see a lot. So this seems to fit in there just right, as you can see. Obviously there's no extra dunnage in there yet. So what I'm doing here is taking another piece, wrinkling it up, And just kind of putting it around the sides a little bit and over the top, just enough to, so when I close these flaps, I'm actually pushing down on it a little bit. Now, always give it a shake test. In this case, you're going to hear something rattling. That rattling is actually inside those inner boxes. There's some hardware, some nuts and bolts and whatnot in there, inside those inner boxes. Because it's all metal, I didn't bother doing it, but if that inner box had something fragile in it, I would open the inner box and wrap the fragile items in that same paper. So, in this case, when I give it the shake test, I'm hearing that rattle. But what I'm not doing is feeling those boxes slide around at all in there. That's important. So, it's packaged. I'm going to put it on my scale. 2.4 pounds. So, that's 2 pounds, 7 ounces. 0.8 would be 2 pounds, 8 ounces. So, you know, that's pretty close. So, next I'm going to ship it. I think what I'm going to do here is not show you guys the actual screen for shipping. I'm sure people wouldn't really want to see their addresses on eBay necessarily, but so I'm gonna stand right here in front. You guys can kind of hang out over here, I guess. I think. How's that? And then if I'm like here, I apologize. I just, you know, I think it's important to maintain people's privacy. So I'm going to purchase shipping label. And I'm going to put in the weights and dimensions. In this case, when I listed this, I listed it at 2 pounds, 8 ounces. I'm just going to change that to 2 pounds, 7 ounces. And then 12 by 11 by 4. I already had the accurate box in there. And I'm going to hit purchase shipping label. And print. And right over here will come my shipping label. Just like that. You can see how those are nice. So in this case, I'm actually using some, I ran across a case of UPS shipping labels. UPS provides them for free to people who use, you know, in a commercial environment, use UPS for shipping. I'm not even certain where I ran across the case now, but I got a whole case of them. They were free. Why wouldn't I use them? Or no, they weren't free, but I paid like $10 for probably, I think it was 3,000 labels. So yeah, that was nice, you know, definite bonus. Shipped. Item is shipped. I always keep 2 garbage cans, one here and one here. Again, that's part of that streamlining. Today I don't have a ton of shipments. I've got I think 7 or 8. Mondays I can have, you know, 40 or 50 shipments to get out the door. That's where that streamlining is so important. Make things efficient as possible. Like I said, constant improvement is important. It's super important to just always be making your process smoother, easier for you, better for the customer, you know, whatever you can do, you know. I mean, if you make one small improvement every day, you're just going to end up with an amazing business. You really will. So that's the shipping process. Let me show you. I apologize for my mess over here. I actually just recently cleaned a little bit, so when I ended up cleaning, I found a lot of the experienced eBay sellers will call it their death pile. I found a lot of death pile stuff that was saleable. So I put it all over here, my listing station, and it just ended up being like this big pile. But I've been working through it, and it's hilarious. Like my desk pile in the past 2 days of listing out of this pile over here, I listed $6,800 in items just from stuff that's been kicking around and I've been ignoring for, a year or more. It's crazy sometimes what we do. I think a lot of it has to do with me, with my ADHD, is just not being interested in something. If I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to touch it, But I've recognized that I have to touch it. So here I am. This pile here is actually already listed magazines. All my filing cabinets are full. So I've got about 20 more filing cabinets. I'm actually going to bring another one up, and put it here. This is one of my warehouses. My other one is in the garage across the road. I've got a 3-bay garage, and I've expanded it over there. I'll give you guys a shot of that eventually here. But over there I have almost as much inventory as I have here, but I don't have any filing cabinets up yet over there. So these are waiting for me to pull a filing cabinet out of my garage. Has a full basement in it. That's where I stored the filing cabinets. These ones are waiting for me to pull one of the filing cabinets up out of the basement, label the shelving, and put it to its home. In a case like this, these don't have an inventory location in a listing, but believe it or not, this is 2 or 3 listings right here, because I did the name's escaping me, but it's where you can pull from a drop down. I want the 1992 December hot rod issue, right? So I'm able to get all this in 2 or 3 listings by doing that. So at some point or another, I'll show you guys how I do that. For you new people out there, save you a lot of time. Variation listings is what it's called. Save you a ton of time, saves you money if you are maxing out your listings every month. I can list, well, let me see, 24 pictures. And if I take a picture per year, I can list 24 years in one listing and get a picture of every cover in that listing. So that's, let's say it's a 12-month or 12 issues a year. That's 24 times 12. I'm not going to do the math in my head, but it gives you an idea. That's a lot of items that you can get in one listing. And on eBay, let's say you're limited to 250 items. It only counts as one listing, one item. Why wouldn't you do that, to save that money? I have a store, the mid-tier store or whatever. I can get 1,000 listings in for free every month. I always do buy it now. I don't do auctions. I don't think there's any money in auctions personally. But yeah, so I max my 1,000 listings out every month. I list quite a bit. It's my full-time job. This is what I do. But yeah, you can get those variations in there. I don't utilize it as much as I could. For instance, cassette tapes, I list them individually. One of the reasons I do that is because I take at least 3 photos of a cassette, 4 if there's, or more if there's any damage or any condition issues that I want to show. So it's just not one of those things that I find time saving to list that way, so I don't. Again, this is a process I've developed. Doesn't have to be the way you do it, but you could certainly do variations on cassettes. You could just take 1 photo of each one. You could take 1 photo of a whole table of cassettes, and you could do that 24 times, and you could put, a whole table times 24 in one listing, because you can put 24 pictures in a listing for free. You could probably put more in. I've never done it, but maybe if you pay eBay, you could put more photos in. I just don't. There's overhead, right? So eBay charges are pretty strong overhead. We already get you know, charged a lot on eBay fees. So, yeah. So, let me show you my mess. I do use photo booths. I actually have a couple of them. This here, just so you know, if you're blind like me, I'm not super blind, but, you know, I'm 50. I'm getting up there. These are super handy to have to look at something. So, it's just a magnifying glass. It's on an arm. Swing it out of the way. So right now it's in my way, so I'm going to swing it over here. Out of the way. We're going to go over here. Again, I told you it's a little bit of a mess. But, oh, cleaning stuff. Can't stress it enough. Baby wipes. Get baby wipes, man. They are the best. You can buy a whole case of these things for, like, I think it's like 15 bucks or something like that for a case of them. And a case lasts me for like almost a year. They're so great for cleaning things. Like CD and DVD cases and, you know, I mean, anything. Glassware, whatever. I wipe it down with a baby wipe, and then I use paper towels behind it to dry it off and kind of take any potential residue. Always get the one, don't get the ones with lotion. You don't want to leave any lotion residue or anything like that. All that's really in it, oh, and I get the fragrance-free ones too. All that's really in these are like isopropyl alcohol, water, and the wipe. But man, they work so good. And they're super convenient. They're in these closing packs. They come, sometimes they're a little wet when they come, so I will actually intentionally leave it like this overnight. So when I come back the next day, it's kind of evaporated a lot of the, or not a lot, but some of the moisture out of it and dried it out a little bit, so it's not as wet. Baby wipes, man. Tech tip of the day. I don't know, is that a thing? So over here I have my listing station. I have a couple different ways I'll list. Sometimes, it just depends on how I feel. Sometimes I'll list with my phone. Sometimes I list with my computer. Sorry. If I'm listing with my computer, I'll use my camera. I've got a nice Canon camera. There's nothing super fancy. I actually bought it off from Marketplace with 3 batteries, 2 chargers, all kinds of accessories, including like a remote button, which I use. So sometimes I'll use this with a stand, with a tripod. This tripod came as part of a large lot of stuff. It's an aluminum tripod that I bought, you know. This tripod is a little different because it's got this, which is pretty cool. And then this also goes, let me just set it up just to show you. This also goes out. Sorry. If you can find one of these tripods, get it. Can't stress it enough. So I'll put this like this, and then it's got little turnbuckles or turn screws to lock it in place. And then you can extend it. This also, if it's straight up, obviously would go, you know, up and down. This one's kind of cool because it's also got a place for a camera here and for a camera here, or flashes maybe, I don't know. Never really used them, but this is your main camera mount here. So if I'm using a tripod, I'll put my, if I'm listing with a computer, I'll put my camera on, tighten it up, get it in place, kind of square it up. And then what I do is I'll set it up like this. Always takes a little finagling every time to kind of get it in place. And then you can, this here will, if you've never used one of these, this here allows it to swivel like that. And then this one here, if you loosen it, allows it to swivel like this. Always lock it in place, because what I found was like this whole thing, even when you lock that, it still spins until you lock this back button or back dial in place, and then the whole thing's pretty rigid. Obviously you don't want it to move around too much. So what I'll do is, and I'm gonna just turn it on real quick just to show you. Take the lens cap off. So I'll get it set up. If I'm doing like bulk listing of tapes or something like that, I'll get it set up perfectly. And let me bring you in here so you can see through my display on my camera. I don't know where you guys are. There you go. You can see it's got this nasty reflection on it. Let me show you what I do to... so it does have a diffuser up here. This particular photo box does. But it doesn't, you know, you still get a reflection in there. So what I do is I find a nice place for it where I'm not getting a reflection as much. And I put it on this little dishes display stand. This isn't the best example. I'm just trying to be, you know, quick show you guys. But yeah, I'll figure out a way that it gets the least amount of reflection, and then that's where it stays. This is here mostly for perspective. Sorry, let me, you guys are on another tripod. So this is here for perspective for the buyers, but it's also here for me. So now I know that this has to be at this 8-inch mark. So I can, if I shift this thing, you know, I can put it back there. Let's say I was doing a whole pile of DVDs, right? I'm all set. And then what I do is remote switch. And you'll find that if you want to use your phone and you want to use a tripod setup, you guys are actually on a phone right now. I'm using a phone to record this right now. Just an older iPhone. But you can buy these adapters that sit on these tripods. These are 1/4-20 screws. But yeah, they'll sit on these tripods. And you screw it in, and then it's got like a little dial clamp to clamp your phone in place. Pretty cool. It works. I do another YouTube channel, or like I record sunrises because I live on this hill that overlooks the sunrise every day. So I'll record sunrises just to share them with people. But anyway, so I plugged this in, and all I have to do now is just, if I want to take a picture of this, can you guys see this? Yep. Push this button, and there's my picture. Obviously, I'm just being quick here, so there's a glare in there. I would shift it or angle it to get rid of that glare. A lot of times what I'll do is actually angle it. So I'll find a nice angle where there's no glare. You know, just move it around like until I get rid of that glare. So in this case, it looks like if I moved it this way, you know, and got it towards the front, I wouldn't have that glare that I have in the back. I'm no professional photographer by any means, so feel free to critique me or give me suggestions. I'm open. But anyway, yeah. So that's my setup. Otherwise, I'll just sit here in my chair and do this. But yeah, boom. There's my picture. And then I'll pull the cards out when I'm done taking photos and put it in my camera and, you know, list everything. But let me show you real quick. Okay, you guys are all set. So there's kind of a trick to it, and I'm not gonna do it with this, but so if I'm doing it on my computer and I'm using this, what I'll do is I'll put it there. I take, you know, all my photos of it, and then I set it down, and I'm just gonna set it here so you guys can see. Then I do the next one. And then I'll set that on top of it. And what I'm doing here is making stacks. And then let's say that stack was full. And then I take my next photo. I'm going to set it here. And then I grab my next one. And I take a photo of that. And again, I'm just taking these pictures for you guys just to show you this method. Boom. I'm done with my photos. All right. But I have these stacks now. And what I would do, sorry, a lot of stuff in the way here. What I would do would be to take the card out of the camera, put it in the computer, and sort them newest to oldest. And then I'm working from here to here. So I'll take this one, and I'll always take the same number of photos. So let's say I take this book, I took, 4 photos of it, front, back, the index and or table of contents rather, and then one of the inside. Those are my 4 photos. So when I go to list this on the computer, I'll grab those 4 photos and drag them into the listing and drop. And boom, I have them every time. And it works perfectly because the newest one, I missed a step in there. I take them back to front. So my newest one is the front cover because I want that to be my display one. I don't want to have to drag anything around. Again, this is all about time saving. So I'll take the back cover, then I'll take an inside shot, then I'll take the table of contents shot, then I take the front cover. So when I go to the computer and I sort them newest to oldest, I grab that block of 4 photos, drag them down, and boom, it's front cover, table of contents, inside, back cover. Boom, 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 boom. And that's part of that continuous improvement of process, right? Is just finding that way to do that. And it's just smart, It's make things as streamlined and easy as possible for yourself. So let me tear this down real quick. I don't like leaving this up because, cameras aren't cheap. Don't want to have to replace it if I don't have to. And if I kick the tripod legs, then I'm probably replacing the camera. Always take care of your equipment. So again, over here this is just my personal water bottle, but over here is a bit of a death pile. Not a death pile. Let me restate that. It's stuff that, and I don't like death pile. I don't think that that's the right term. It's your backlog. That's genuinely what it is. It's your backlog of work. It's things that you need to list. That's what a backlog is. In shipping, it would be things that you need to ship, right? For a reseller, it's getting it listed is our key thing. So this is nice because it just kind of folds right up and out of the way. It gets even smaller. It's got pieces here so that you can shrink it up if you want to. I don't really need to. I just tuck it in the corner. It's in the corner. And that's where it lives. This corner over here, a little messy, but your environment is important, right? So I've got a heater that I bust out in the summertime, in the wintertime. I have air filter and dehumidifier with like a little odor thing from Bath and Body Works on top, just to keep the area smelling pleasant. A lot of what I sell are vintage items. You can kind of see from some of my backlog here. I've got a cool old Panama Canal framed map, cassette or a Walkman, another Walkman. This is a old multimeter. I haven't decided whether I'm going to list it or not. It's a little rough. It's kind of, it's funky cool though, so I'll probably list it like steampunky, just as a decor. I don't think that it actually works. Maybe it does, who knows. but I'm not going to sell it as working. I'll just sell it as a, you know, cool steampunk item. Somebody might buy it for decoration. But yeah, mostly vintage items. Some of this stuff is just stuff that, this was actually a personal item that I'm probably going to sell. We'll see. Depends on whether it's worth it or not. I haven't even looked it up yet. Yeah. So, but anyway, the point of that is a lot of your vintage items, a lot of the, you know, garage sale items and attic items and whatever you're getting, they might have a musty scent to them. They smell old. You know, it's not even musty, just old. I just like having the place smell a little better. So my hack is I get these from Bath and Body Works. They're meant to go like in your car. They're car air fresheners. I put one on top of my air filter and it blows the scent in the air. Sometimes I'll burn a candle. They're not the greatest to burn because of the air pollution, right? And it's a fairly small room, so but if I have the door open, enjoying the, you know, the summer breeze or something like that, then I'll burn a candle. But yeah, I think that's it. This is a pretty long video already, almost an hour, but yeah, that's my store in a nutshell. Again, if you want to watch what I do and maybe learn a few things along the way, if you're new starting out, you can always message me with questions via eBay. I'll put my contact information, my email contact information down in the comments, along with my eBay store if you ever want to see what I do. Just to give you a little bit of specifications on my eBay store, it pays my bills. I won't give you dollar values, but I will tell you I've got, between eBay and Amazon, about 15,000 items roughly listed, maybe like 14,000 and change listed. Well over 6 figures in active listings. Yeah, pays the bills. It's fun. I get to find cool things, and as I find cool things, I'll show you guys videos of them. If I go do a pick or something, I don't have a GoPro yet, but if I get one, or you guys want to see a pick, or if I get a big score or something, then I'll definitely bring you guys along with me, or we could do a haul video, right, where we go through the stuff and just check out the coolness. Yeah, that's all the news that's fit to print, I guess. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Negative feedback, positive feedback, I take it all. I got broad shoulders and deep pockets. That's what my old mason boss back in the day, when I was young enough to do that stuff, told me was, you got to have broad shoulders and deep pockets, because if it went wrong, it's your fault, and if it's missing, you probably lost it. So there you go. Advice for the day: broad shoulders and deep pockets. Be willing to absorb it. Just don't be a jerk. There's no need to be a jerk, guys. Be nice people. Be nice to other people. Anyway, thanks for signing on and checking me out, and like and follow. Hopefully I'll put up more videos soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.